Hi guys, welcome to the relationship spread or X spread or on and off relationship spread. So let me explain to you how this works. I have developed this spread and initially I called it Cat Tarot Knows About Relationship Spread, but it got named by you X spread. Basically it is taking me through various categories, and let me explain to you what these categories are and why I'm choosing them. You're going to see in every reading these cards are lying down on the table, and this doesn't mean that the cards are exactly pulled out the same for all of the signs. It simply means that I'm trying to figure out what is in these categories and what is referring to your relationship. And by actually finding all these elements, I will be able to find out the quality of your relationship and project the future trajectory. So the very first card that I have in this spread is the Magician. The Magician, being a number 1, is the number of creation. It is somebody who really want to create something, but it's just like in a phase of thinking. It would be very much like when we show up for work and we are just starting to plan our day, but we are yet not putting our hands on it. It is somebody who really believes that he has all the tools, but he has to figure out how to use those tools. So in this category, I will be trying to figure out what tools your relationship has been given. So it is kind of like a very latent position where maybe you're not using them, maybe you are overusing them, maybe you never got the tools that can make this relationship working. So in this category, in your toolbox, I find out if this relationship basically is ever a starter. The next card I have picked is Temperance reversed. So Temperance is a really great card in the upright position. It talks about things meeting all the needs. So at the right time, in the right place, with the right person, with the right feeling, and it's kind of like that in the zone moment. Now it basically talks about balance. It talks about creation. Look at the fire is creating, like the flowers are growing. But when it's reversed, none of that is happening. So things are not coming together. People are not coming toward us. They are not understanding us. So in this category, I'm trying to figure out what glue your relationship needs. What are the items that you need to work on? Then in my personal readings, I also compare these two categories in the end just to see if you can actually surpass these pluses and minuses or what can be done. Then I'm taking Queen of Wands as a significator for one partner, and please disregard that this is a fire sign generic representation, because in this case I really want people to see themselves as the best possible. Because if, for example, this is an on and off relationship, you do want the person to come back to you and to think about the best you can achieve, and that's basically what happens. People don't come back to you hoping for the worst you are. So this is basically representing one basically partner or female partner. You pretty much know from the storyline which one it is. Then Eight of Wands is basically lots of things happening here. So Eight of Wands is going to come as a communication and energy between you and your partner. This is going to tell me if he or she will call, what kind of issues are happening behind the surface, and what really was the nature of the communication or of silence. Then Nine of Wands is representative of, let's say, for X relationship, because Knight of Wands is almost more important than King, because Knight is the one who is being sent to represent, to show off, and sometimes they're just showing the power when they're being sent to a battle. So in tarot, if this is representing your partner, you want to see your partner galloping toward you and not just sitting and waiting for the partner to be served, which kind of is the case of King of Wands. I will, however, use King of Wands for steady relationships, for some people kind of get in a rut and want to see what is going on, because then King of Wands is more appropriate in that situation. Then I have Judgment card. Well, Judgment card in some decks is being called Karma card. I consider both Judgment and Justice Karma cards. This one actually more so, because this one really talks about bringing the old things to the surface. And so I'm looking that line in time for your relationship and seeing what kind of things are surfacing. And this doesn't have to mean only about your relationship, because we are set of a sum of different life trajectories, and sometimes our buttons are being pushed, so that means something from the past has resurfaced. So two resurfacing things at the same time combined with the outside influence is what is creating a relationship. And I really want to see how is that positioning happening and what can be done with this. And lastly, the last category would be Four of Wands. It is a category of moving to the next level of happiness, of, you know, from liking each other to starting to go on a date, from dating someone to go in a serious relationship, from serious relationship to getting engaged, and so on. This is also going to tell me about the quality of your relationship, and also is going to be able to define if you should continue with that. So guys, now when you know what cards would mean, it's going to be much faster for me and easier for me to actually guide you through the categories. So for detailed explanation, you can also check on my website www.cattarot.ca, and please also via my website as well, you can get your own personal reading, which supersede any of the readings on the site, because it's only your vibration and not the vibration of many. Thanks very much. Love you. Hi Aquarius, welcome to Catch Tarot. So let's see what is in the store for us for the month of June. I'll be doing this access reading the first week every month, so it's going to go 4 weeks from there, because it's kind of difficult for me to do around the first bi-weeklies and dailies and X's, and on top of my work and on top of the personal reading. So this way kind of it's much better for you as well to kind of absorb each reading 1 week after another, and for me I'm giving a better quality reading this way. So you see these cards. If you skip the initial explanation, please go back at least once to understand why I'm choosing these significators. They are not pull cards. They are only significating a certain category. They are from a different deck, and I'll have the same cards in here. Also, this is a general reading, and it might not apply to you. It could be few chunks. And lastly, there are significators here that can, either of them can represent you. Tarot is that way. And also it can represent another party that maybe is relevant to the situation. Okay, so just jump in. The first category, the Magician, is talking about what are the tools for this relationship. So let's see the first week, or the week starting now, June the 7th. Well, there is a level of boredom or dissatisfaction. When I see this card, I see a person who is closing his heart, but not so much out of spite, not so much out of fear, but sort of like, okay, I didn't like this, I didn't like this, I didn't like this. And even when something extra is created, it's not accepted. So this is kind of like telling me several things. One, it can mean, come on, you know, pick something. You're too picky. But it also can tell me, look, maybe you have to wait for what you really, really need, because maybe all these choices were not really the right choices for you. So what needs to be fixed in this relationship? What is the glue that is missing? The Emperor reversed. Now we are talking. This is talking about stability. This is talking about leadership. It is talking about making wise decision, being in control, kind of having energy, but kind of like looks like that we are running out of steam. Maybe we are just kind of fed up with relationships. Maybe we are fed up with not feeling stable. Maybe we don't have the firm grasp of what is going on. And certainly we are not the kings of our own world, and it just doesn't feel right. And it can we have to address our feeling of stability, our feeling of feeling in control of our own world, without being too controlling, of course. But this kind of almost sounds like somebody else could be pushing us to a limit where we don't want to be. It also can mean argumentative energy and not feeling solid currently in life in general. So Queen of Wands is a significator, so let's see how the partner sees us and what they think about us and what kind of energy kind of like we present for them. Well, Nine of Wands, so actually they see us as the one who gives up, who gave up, who is going to give up. Hi Safi, you really want Aquarius to be in your reading, right? Hi Saf. You like Aquarians, my little Aquarius? Huh? Can you move? Can you move? Can you move? I was putting her to sleep last night, but now I'm continuing. I think it's just like her 1 hour that she's awake and she has to come to aqua reading. So guys, Nine of Wands is basically talking about seasoned warrior who... What are you doing? Come on, come down here. Come, sweetie. Sleep. Come on, sleep. Just relax. Relax. Beauty sleep. Sorry, Aquarius. This is talking about 9. It is the last phase. Somebody's seeing us, okay, we are battle warrior and maybe we got lots of scars. Maybe we are preparing for more things, more bad things coming our way. This means, you know what, I just can't take it anymore. I give up. It could be that Aquarians were the ones who left. It could be that Aquarians said, enough is enough. I cannot waste my nerves and energy for something that is not stable. I need the stability. And maybe this is what is addressing here. Well, it's not really that we don't know what we want. It is just like what we are getting is not the right thing. Communication. Fool. This is really not telling me about communication. Fool is like what happens before activity happens. It's certainly a state of mind where, you know, it's a new spiritual birth. It's the baby, the moment when, you know, the birth has to happen. Kind of, it's talking about new vision. It talks about enthusiasm. So 9 is sort of the last phase, and this will be just before the beginning, right? 0 is neither beginning nor going back, right? So it's standing literally on a limb as he is and not even listening to advice, kind of like going into some completely new direction and believing that everything is possible. So this for Aquarius is extremely significant because this is definitely an air sign. Fool always represents air in tarot, and it's kind of looking up. It's just like the star card. It is like having a vision. It must be something better out there. You know, when this card appears, it tells me that, you know, we are willing to take a completely new path. We understand that whatever happened up to this point was impractical, and hence let's take what we can take it very light, and let's grow in a new direction. So it is a card, if you wish, of a new beginning, thinking about the new beginning, realization that we need to reboot and restart. And this has also can tell me, like, this is like rebooting and reformatting hard drive, right? So that's why the light baggage is here, because you know what, like with all these files, all these things, all these thoughts that actually happen and go through our Aquarian mind, it's like really hard to maintain all this like library of things and events. So yeah, that's it. You don't have control over that. Maybe this is not useful. Off you go. Let's delete, reset. Let's start fresh. So let's see how is partner feeling about that. You see, for our partner is basically feeling, oh my gosh, I am breaking up with you. So this is not a good card. I'm not going to fool you. It could be us, it could be them. But they're breaking up because we are actually not engaged anymore, it looks like. And look, this card is showing 3 people, and one person is really smug and feeling victory, but the other 2 are walking nowhere. They lay down their arms, their swords, and they're walking toward water. So it looks like that, you know, there was no emotional fulfillment possibly for our partner. And this is talking to me about honoring differences. When I see this card, it tells me, well, wait a minute, in relationship, can you really be victorious? It also tells me about kind of crazy things, that maybe it was a situation that seemed to be far-fetched, that, you know, the new playmates, or maybe somebody who interfered was on the stage, that kind of play a role. This also tells me that we need to appreciate the ideas that kind of come out of nowhere, and this is very much like us Aquarians. But this person is not really understanding this, and it looks like that partner we have here is like very much like a child, which we have the Fool here, who kind of feels that they got a new playmate and they can do anything they want, not understanding that this flow of ideas go back and forth. It can also mean that this person cannot understand the concepts and cannot understand this willingness to start new, but kind of fulfill the needs as well. So hence it's that kind of almost abrupt energy. 5 is like not a good energy where, you know, it has to be this way. And this always rubs us the wrong way, and nobody should be really behaving that way in a relationship. So let's see what is karma talking about this first week. Look, karma is again saying, you know what, this is too high price to pay. Let's go. This is really not good, and we are going to question, and I will address this over and over and over again for all of you cross watchers and for all of us Aquarians. I mean, I am being attacked, being called a sociopath, no social skills. What else did I call? What did I call? I don't know. In any case, there is like something that is called mirroring effect, and it's kind of really, to me, puzzling when people call me names and they are being obnoxious. Then do I really need to even address that, right? So sometimes people get stuck on a very small point, not really seeing a big picture. So it is really hard to judge a tree and not to see the forest. So if I'm giving this much time to try to do these readings, I'm really hoping that somebody, instead of jumping onto something, that maybe they see a big picture. That's all I ask. And if that means that you're going to call me crazy sociopath, so be it. But you know what, I'm also Aquarius, and Aquarians do tend to think differently, and maybe this is not everybody's, you know, cup of tea, and that's okay. There are many other readers, but this card to me speaks really deeply to me, because I think this is what Aquarians have, what some signs cannot understand, and this is why we are judged to be so cold. Sometimes we challenge karma. We are 11th sign. We are the sign of karma. 11 is represented with justice, which is definitely sign of karma. It is like creating balance in the world. So sometimes this balance means that we need to go away. Like when I see this card over here, this is journey. This is like saying, look, I know all these things could be possible, but maybe I'm settling. Maybe this is not what I really need. Just like in this card here, right, where we had it. Like, what is the right offer for us? And this is talking about emotional component, right? Cups, which we have to go really deep outer element to understand this. But this is also understanding that we don't want anything superficial, and that all that glitters isn't gold, and that we really need to follow our own thing, and that we consciously have to choose the path that is really right for us, instead of being pushed onto this path, instead of like somebody telling us, well, this is the way it should be, right? So this is kind of also understanding when we need to walk away from something or from somebody, because maybe we have gone as far as we could, right? We didn't have the stability and we didn't have meeting of the minds with somebody. So this is also meaning letting go of illusion, because this is why certain people cannot understand us or maybe don't like us, because we don't really dwell. Even though we are the air sign, we are somewhere up in the clouds, and this is more applicable to ideas, but when it comes to reality, we kind of like really cut through it. And this is why the air signs are represented with swords, because it's cutting through, it's fast, it's heavy, but we are not holding what is not right for us, and hence we are able to manifest that progress. Again, guys, I'm inviting all of you to give me comments about Aquarians, because lots of people go into bashing certain signs, and I cannot tell you how much I'm against it, because every sign has something that can really contribute. Every sign has good and bad people in it, and just to kind of generalize something, it's really speaking about that person, and it's like no different than generalizing about anything and anybody else. Right, Safi? You see? So let's see the quality of relationship, guys. Ace of Swords. Just talking about it. The truth has to be told, right? Ace of Swords is talking that certain things need to be addressed, that maybe we have lied ourselves, and maybe this is why we are walking away, or maybe that somebody else lied to us. In any case, it's going to be a discovery, and it could be cutting something off. It could be cutting something off that is like still brewing and allowing us to maybe start something new. Come on, Jeff. Come on, Jeff. Come on, Jeff. So let's see the next week. The middle week in June. We have a judgment in basically Magician. That's kind of really interesting. So this is talking about the old things coming back to the surface, which is kind of interesting because the Fool is here. So it looks like what is brewing inside of us is kind of like looking into what needs to be raised from the dead, if you wish, what needs to be resurrected and what doesn't need to be resurrected, what needs to be placed back to nothingness and let go of it. So it's kind of what is our true purpose. Like, do we have everything we need? Do we have our purpose? And what are we really called here? Like, we are called to have authentic relationships, because look, here it's like us rejecting. We are rejecting things. And everybody else can tell us, oh, you're picky, you should take it, and you know, maybe the better opportunity might not come around. But this is faith. That's the true faith, people, when you kind of believe that you can continue going further and believing in a higher power. And this is believing in ourselves, truly kind of roll up your sleeves and kind of believing that we are part of that blueprint, that we can actually help others. And it is going against everything, but it is going in tune with this divine calling, whatever you call it, right? I call it karma. I just call karma is much higher than any religion, because religion is just a ticket we buy to be on this planet. So what needs to be fixed? Well, this indecision. It looks like you have 1, we have 2, we have 5. There is like a level of decision that needs to be made, which is like head or heart, and it looks like it's difficult to make it, right? And it is connected to that instability. It's connected maybe that somebody else is choosing between us and somebody else, and that this is all coming to the surface. So how are we seen in that week? We are seen as Magician. So we actually seen, again, this is 0 and this is 1. This is still not active card. This is still a card of preparation. This is still a card of vision. It's kind of, where do I go from here? It's coming to your work and understanding, I have this and this and this that I have to do, and how can I combine this? But very much like Judgment, this is talking about being in alignment with yourself and wondering that skill and time will take in order to manifest anything. So we are seen as person who can actually create things, who can really resurrect things. And maybe we are called to resurrect things, because here we are seen as somebody who is giving up. So the communication, guys, we actually will have some kind of love communication expression. So look, we are actually getting to one stages. That's kind of interesting, because here was a one cutting through something, relationship not happening because of some lies, because the third person, because of how somebody made us feel. But here we are finding the strength in ourselves. There is an opportunity. Ace of Cups is this ultimate feminine energy, right? Like, I mean, this is the water kind of element, but water element generally talks about emotions. It talks about unconditional love, abundance, and fertility. It generally talks about religion and spirit and emotions, right? When I see cups. So this is telling me that we'll be able to reclaim love. This might be only love for ourselves, it could be hope, but in any case, we will have the new guidance. And love is the answer, right? So now we have the 2 wands over here. So what is the partner doing? Interesting, we have 2, but 2 is reversed. So High Priestess talks about a few things. First of all, she talks about secrets, talks about something hidden deep inside, talks about spirituality, talks about psychic gifts, talks about, you know, that some things are not meant to be known. And this is reversed. So maybe our partner or us are not having access to that higher wisdom. Maybe there is like feeling of not being on par. So one person can generate. So magician is generation of the things and manifestation of the things on the outside, and the High Priestess is going inside to create this, like, I mean, lovely union. But it looks like lots of things are at play, because look, we have the Judgment, which is also taking things from deep down to how do we actually create it. So what is Karma saying here? Karma is saying, be very careful. Somebody still could be juggling somebody, because this can actually talk about there is an extra person involved, because I saw the 3 people here. This also can mean that, well, it's not the right time. It could be embarrassing. It's not on the right ground. This is kind of life, but maybe life not being in a perfect order, because now I see the 2 twos reversed. And one is saying, well, it's also possible that Aquarians need to kind of find a better financial ground and kind of like make decisions that are best for them. It's kind of like, where is this new start? This is the rocket shooting, and we have to find the calling. We have to find what is really, really important. This almost looks like the entire week is like self-dedicated. Kind of, it's a big exploration here and almost excitement about the new start. But this is kind of like a fly in the ointment. And again, yeah, as far as the relationship, this 3 keeps coming up. It's something that is still bothering us. There is this third person that has affected, you know, the progress, and definitely is not creating any will to continue with this person. This person is really affecting, or in a sense, this person could be right now thinking about Safi leaving this person, but but they're like really not sure how to do it. The High Priestess is like intention. What's up, Matrix? Pardon me. What's up? But its intention is here, but I don't think it can be placed in motion, because the High Priestess is not, as I said. So this is 2, this is 2, this is 2. This is talking about indecision. And then you have like 1-on-1. Like, all of these cards are really beginning stages of something. This is sort of like really conception, and this is sort of like, okay, so this is just a birth, and let's see where we go from there. So let's see the last week. We have the Hermit. So it is a lonely energy. It is like a timeout energy. It's not necessarily gaining any wisdom. It's maybe even a doubt about how to go along with things. So let's see what needs to be fixed here. We have yet another 2. So do we have them all? Well, we have still one missing, the 2 of Cups, which is kind of crucial. This needs to be fixed. It looks like we are not on the same page with our partner. This kind of would talk about, okay, it's partial success, let's keep moving, let's keep building this world. But this, again, just like here, looks like one partner or both, and looks like this could be us, is kind of deciding, you know what, like, I mean, I don't really think I should be building the future here. Is there anything that can be built? Is this really right for me? Am I getting all these ingredients? And why am I feeling like unstable here? And I shouldn't be feeling this way. It's kind of like all these thoughts that are going through your head, but at the same time, not really feeling really firm about it. So yeah, we are feeling completely out of element with this person in relationships right now. This kind of could also indicate their healing is not taking place, that the hope maybe is not really high up on the horizon, lack of communication, really not being us, really not being able to tap what we want. And this is certainly maybe how we are being seen. Maybe we are being seen as not giving that future to this person, not willing to go and walk future with them. And maybe that's because we are deciding that maybe they haven't provided us with the ingredients that we need. And it's a two-way street, not only one-way street. And we usually are the ones who give and give and give and understand and understand and understand, and then the other person takes and takes and takes, and then we explode, and then we are blamed to be horrible. So let's see the communication here. Yeah, I see certain things are still not finished, so certain things are brewing. The World being the last card reversed, and here Fool. It's kind of going one step forward, one step back. And beginning of the month is understanding we have to move on, we have to heal, but then we are still kind of bringing things to the surface, and maybe even feeling sorry about ourselves, feeling a little stuck, and almost like feeling a little bit resentful. The partner might have some kind of luck with their own life, or maybe our perception would be that we would be happy with this partner, that the partner can fulfill, you know, our desires. But Judgment is saying, be careful, you know, look, this partner is not a partner that is going to contribute. This is that sneaky card. Whenever I see this in any reading, I say, call it off, because this is not how you want to feel, right? So also 7s are cards of independence, and it's a card of non-conformity. So whatever happened with this partner, it was not a classical relationship, and we cannot be with this partner because that would mean a lifetime of pleasing this person without us getting our share of what we need. And this is basically a sign, when this comes in karma, basically a bracket, that this is time for us to live on our own terms. And we need to find the courage to kind of reject conformity. And that's why this is this walking away, and maybe hesitancy over walking away about our own security in the matter. And this is definitely saying, look, we need to do it, but we also need to do it in a kind of diplomatic way. Maybe we have been treated this way, but it's definitely calling to be true to ourselves. And right, and we are supported in that. We are saying, look, you know, continue, you're going to be victorious, you just have to persist. 6 of Wands is, of course, you're on top of the world, kind of recognizing, hey, I'm doing this for me, I'm not doing this for anybody else, because I have to figure out that authentic part of me. And that's why we had a 4 of Cups and now 7 over here. So this is talking about stepping into being your own hero. And it is a time to renew our own trust in us, that we are actually doing things for the highest good, not only for the other people, but for ourselves as well. All right, let's see the sneak peek of first week in July. Look, we have the Empress. We have 1, 2, 3 here. So things are going forward. Yeah, our partner definitely had somebody who may be a sign of Scorpio or possibly even Sagittarius, but doesn't matter. It's kind of really interesting here that we should walk away, because look here, yeah, there is like this feeling again, victory and victory, but it's a shallow victory, because we still have to figure out this partner. Look, we have 2 tens, so it's end kind of partner who would continue to harm us. This is kind of like losing, and losing big, and starting to heal after a big loss, right? And feeling backstabbed, and feeling inadequate, and feeling why did that happen, and how did I not listen to my intuition? I should have seen it coming, right? This person disrupted our feeling of who we are, and maybe wounding us really, really deep. And this is calling for us to kind of gracefully end this, and also end this old way of thinking, and calling us to kind of reborn ourselves, be this full, kind of let go, and understand that this is not a reflection of us, and that we really need this nourishment, and this nourishment we have to give to ourselves. And that's why the Empress is coming. So we are able to have from thinking things to manifesting things. So it is happening that we are coming out, but it looks like the other person is going to have interesting things. They are going to kind of start to feel things, start to understand that they had to nourish us. Maybe they are a little bit too late to the party, and they are not able to contribute to this balance. They are not anymore the right person, the right time, in the right place. And it looks like this whole ordeal is kind of difficult for Aquarius, because there is like this sense of, okay, I need rest. Like, I need to kind of go deep inside of me. I need to kind of figure out again how to reclaim myself. It's lots of thoughts that are happening this month. So there is like starting with 4 and ending with 4, and this is healing, it's meditation, so, and rest, allowing our mind to kind of to have a break, and needing to take care of ourselves. So we are finally getting grounded, understanding that we don't need the outside influence. We need to figure out what are the workable things for us, and continue to follow our own star. So Aquarians, please share, like, subscribe. I always appreciate your comments. They mean so much to me. So I really hope that you give me your input. And also for your own personal reading, contact me at www.cattarot.ca. Thank you very much. Love you.